Hello, welcome back to the HCCTV Student Lounge. This is a show done by HCC students for HCC students to give your opinions in news, entertainment, and what's going on in our school. Hi Karina, you look different today. Did you cut your hair? You still look cute though.
Yeah, I got a really good haircut. Just went down all the way to my skull, grew a little stubble, and my voice got deeper too. But I'm here. Hi. So today we're joined by Francisco, Josh, Eric, Andres, and for the first time ever, we have our new team member, Chaz. Welcome to the show. We will also be joined
Welcome.
by our guests, Donnell Cooper and Rolanda Myles, who are here to talk about Black History Month and scholarships. But first, let's move on to our top three news of the week. Well, it's Black History Month, and HCC has got you covered. On February 23rd, HCC will hold an event called I Am Not My Hair, debunking the myths behind Black hair. It will take place from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. So join Student Live to discuss and explore the myths and truths behind African American hair, featuring a guest speaker and natural hair guru, Tamika Fletcher. She will be sharing her experiences and empowering techniques one could use to break barriers and misconceptions about natural hair. The Afro X Festival is here. So come to our first expo celebrating the life and culture of African Americans in Houston. See live demonstrations, attend workshops, and get free healthcare screenings and meet a variety of community organizations and vendors. Concert from the couch. Celebrate with us and honor Black History Month with Student Life featuring a live concert by the HCC Performing Arts. Join the celebration from your couch and get ready for a night of entertainment. Also, for this event, we're still looking for people to join the poetry contest. So here are the guidelines. It has to be up to 3 minutes in length, performed by the poet on the theme of family representation, identity, and diversity. And go ahead and record yourself and post the video on YouTube as an unlisted video and share the link. We will share the link right here on our bottom thing that will tell you where you can post it, and maybe we can have you on the show. So with this comes three monetary prizes. So there's first place of $100, second place $75, and third place $50. So go ahead and join. I mean, you don't lose anything by that. Now let's begin our first topic, which makes way to a great discussion. So typically, Black History Month draws associations with well-known figures like civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr., but there are many others to learn about. For example, there's Rosa Parks. A granddaughter of lifelong slaves and daughter of born slaves, Parks was the first free citizen of her family. But segregation was still a big problem in her day. One day, Rosa happened to ride a bus and sat in a seat towards the front. But rules in those days were that once a white person would step into the bus, people of color would have to give up their seat and move to the back. Rosa Parks refused to move to the back of the bus. Because of this, she was arrested. But it inspired thousands of people of color to not oblige to the outrageous segregation rules, which led to more support for the civil rights movement. So, there's many other people that we can talk about, and we have Kyle just to talk about that. So, Kyle, do you have anybody who you admire that made way for like civil rights movements?
Yeah, I definitely have. It's funny that you mentioned because I'm actually going to talk about Martin Luther King and also Rosa Parks. So first, I would like to start with Martin Luther King. He was born in January 15, 1929, and that's the reason why we have Martin Luther King Jr. Day, which is a federal holiday in the United States, and I know everybody likes holidays. And it's not necessarily on the 15th, but it's on the third Monday of January every single year. We just went through it, and you probably know. But I thought it was interesting because I always thought it was a specific date, but it's not. It's like the third Monday of January. Interesting fact about him, and that he was born as Michael Luther King, but later on he had his name changed. So I thought it was pretty interesting. I didn't know about that. So I thought it was good to share here because a lot of things people already know, so I wanted to share things that you don't know. So in December 1955, he accepted the leadership of the first great Negro nonviolent demonstration of contemporary times in the United States, and he made part of the bus boycott, as Benjamin already shared part of the story with Rosa Parks, and that was a big thing at the moment because that's when they started like not to ride the buses. And I was reading here about that, and apparently they made the majority of the people that actually rode the buses. So now those companies start to lose money because they're not using the buses. So, and not just economically start to impact it, but it's a way to reflect and to show that there's no reason to have segregation. We all humans, we all deserve to be treated equally. And it's funny because until today, we still seeing some things happen. I don't want to get too political, but we know racism is still here. We're fighting against. We already changed so much since the 40s, 50s, but we still have a lot to change. So I just wanted to share with you. So yeah, that's what I wanted to share today, and I would like to hear from you guys. What you guys would like to share?
Hi, Kaio. Thank you for that. I'd like to talk today about media and how it shapes our perception of stuff that has happened. So, as you know, the civil rights honestly weren't that long ago, but because newspapers from that era used a lot of black and white pictures because that was the cheaper thing to use. And of course, at that point, color photography was ridiculously expensive. It's not like today where, we're all here, we're all using cameras, we're all in color and video, and it's perfectly normal. So most of the pictures they had in newspapers are in black and white. So they look a lot older than they are, but we always have to remember that it wasn't that long ago. There are people with, parents and grandparents who were alive and still dealing with a lot of this stuff. And it just, we got to remember that just because we see this stuff in black and white, it wasn't that long.
So as an aspiring screenwriter, I want to bring up a black writer named Jordan Peele. He recently won the Academy Award for Best Screenwriter. And he's a big deal to me because particularly a lot of studios don't really take African-American writers that seriously when it comes to big budget films or supernatural films or science fiction films. So he kind of drew the line and set the example for other aspiring writers like myself, because we're known for just writing particularly just dramas and comedies. And he wrote the movie Get Out, which I didn't see, but heard was very good. So it gave me hope, and it should really inspire anyone who wants to be a screenwriter or any kind of writer, period, to move the extra mile, especially if you're African American or of any other color.
I wanted to talk about one of my favorite basketball players, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He was formerly known as Lou Alcindor before he converted to Islam, but he's not only one of the greatest athletes in American history, he's a 6-time NBA MVP and champion, but he's also a civil rights activist. He grew up under the Jim Crow laws, and Abdul-Jabbar first took notice of the civil rights movement back in 1955 following the murder of Emmett Till, who was a 14-year-old in Chicago who was murdered for talking to a white woman. Eventually, Kareem, or Lou at the time, started to follow the civil rights movement and got very invested. He's known for boycotting the 1968 Summer Olympics because of the treatment of African Americans. And along with Jim Brown and Bill Russell, he stood in solidarity with Muhammad Ali at the Cleveland Summit, which you can see behind me. Kareem's right there. As he refused, and it was because Muhammad Ali refused to enter his name into the draft for the Vietnam War based on his religious convictions. And currently, Kareem is a columnist for Time Magazine, The Hollywood Reporter, and the LA Times, and he frequently gives his thoughts on and opinions on current social justice initiatives and movements.
So I know I talked already about Rosa Parks, but I do want to bring topic to one more person. It's Neil deGrasse Tyson. He is one of America's most beloved scientists / astrophysicists. He shared his knowledge of the stars and universe and has also inspired hundreds of children of color to pursue a career in the sciences. After studying at Harvard University, he earned his doctorate from Columbia University in 1991, and Tyson went on to work for the Hayden Planetarium in 1996 before becoming its director. Additionally, he served as the host of Nova Science Now, which I still remember to this day, tuning into PBS and watching that show and just getting amazed of like the universe and how expansive and how big it is. And also he now has a Star Talk radio podcast. And Tyson still to this day remains a popular TV science expert. So, those are great people that we have throughout history and people who are even still alive today and they're making a change. So now let's move on to Kyle's special guest. So who do you have for today, Kyle?
So today I have Donnell Cooper, who is the chairman for the HCC Black History Committee. So first of all, how are you today?
Doing great. How you doing today, Mr. Cruz?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for joining today, and congratulations. This is such a wonderful student platform. I've been with the university, college rather, for some time now, but never had a chance to kind of see you guys up in personal. So definitely kudos and congratulations, everybody.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you here. So first of all, I'm from Brazil, so for me, I don't think I ever heard even this expression, the Black History Month. So can you tell me why is this month make part of the Black History? So can you share what you know about that?
Well, a lot of it centers around the famous gentleman you guys have already talked about, which is none other than Dr. Martin Luther King. And again, by celebrating his historical birthday this month around the country, we tend to, as a culture, we've celebrated several historical markers throughout the country on this month. So we pretty much take, again, I think I heard LeBron recently stated earlier that yes, it is a historical month, but it happens to be the shortest month of the year. And so, yes, we do have a historical Black History Month, but it is only 29 days in this month. But again, we have several different platforms of Black history leaders who have set the pathway. Dr. Martin King kicks off the month rather, by celebrating his birthday, and we just kind of go throughout the month historically, representing educators, representing different engineers, different scientists that have really just set the pathway through so many fundamental platforms that we celebrate on today.
Perfect. So tell me a little bit about the committee that you make part of it. What do you guys do? I'm curious to know more about that.
Well, again, our sole purpose is you, the students. And so we're all volunteers, we're all professionals with Houston Community College. I've been a professional with the college over 20 years now. And we're a small committee that are volunteers, but we're practically raising dollars for minority students to attend Houston Community College. And so we go out and partner with various corporations, various individuals, various city officials to highlight and identify grants or donations that are available that we can earmark and put back into our foundation campaign, that when students are running to a transition with tuition challenges or just may need a scholarship opportunity, we step in to provide that scholarship platform. So most of our scholarships run about $500. That pretty much takes care of a student, at least for one class for a semester. And again, those dollars are available every semester. And this month is a very pivotal month that we celebrate again for the Black History Committee, because this is typically the year that we host our annual fundraiser, which is our Black History Black Tie Gala.
Yeah, I was actually gonna ask. I got the chance to go last year. It was an incredible event and really excited. We got the mayor in there, so I was so impressed with everything, like how it was organized. I did great interview with like different people about the topic, and it was really cool to be there. And sad that we can't do this year because of COVID. But next year, we getting party double, right?
Party double, yes. But again, this is going to be a phenomenal year for us. And last year, like you said, was a great year. I know I personally enjoyed it. Robin Givens, one of the famous actors, used to be married to Mike Tyson, was one of our honorees this year. And I was actually slated to be her, I guess, chaperone for the evening. So from the time she left her hotel room throughout the evening, I was just kind of her right-hand person. So got a chance to really not only represent the college in that manner, but just to be kind of open personal with somebody of that magnitude on a large platform, gave me a chance to kind of, really embrace, have a normal conversation with a normal celebrity. And so it was a great evening for me. But this year, we're taking it a step level. We're embracing this virtual world. And so we partner with KPRC, which is Channel 2 News. And we're going to be featuring a live celebration on KPRC Channel 2 on February the 25th. One of the KPRC anchors, historical known as Cambria Marshall, will be our keynote speaker this year. And so we're going to be inviting ACC staff, students, along with the city of Houston, to join us live on February the 5th on 3 o'clock on Click to Houston to join in to watch the celebration. And again, we're going to have several students that are going to be giving testimonials. One you'll hear from here shortly after myself, along with some other successful millionaires from ACC students who have gone off to be historical entrepreneurs here in the city of Houston. So again, this is going to be a great virtual world for us. But again, it'll give the city of Houston to really know more about who we are as an affinity group, because that's what we're titled as under the ACC umbrella as a Black History Committee, as an operating affinity group. And that allows us to go out and raise funds and dollars for the students that we serve best.
Okay, and so just make sure, what date is it again?
That's February the 25th at 3 o'clock p.m. and go to Click to Houston. So again, it's going to be a social media feed live on KPRC. But again, all you have to do is just download the KPRC app on your phone, or again, if you're on TV, you just tune in to Channel 2 News on that day. But Click T Houston is going to be the live feed. So, and we'll also be having a live feed onto our ACC district Facebook page as well. So if you happen to not be into the technical world with Click T Houston, you can log on to our district ACC Facebook page and also catch the live feed there as well. But again, it'll be a different platform than which you're definitely used to. We're going to have a live DJ. Again, we're going to have our students there giving live testimonials. So again, we even have some live poetry. We're going to have a guy doing live. We're going to do a live showcase with some artwork. Very famous artist here in the local city named Kid Styles, who's going to be doing a portrait that we're going to auction off. And so again, but the whole initiative is really to allow the city to dive in and donate back to our scholarship campaign.
Yeah, that's awesome. So is there anything else that you would like to share with us? There's more events going on.
This would probably pretty much be our premier event, of the year. Again, we always want to encourage those individuals who are going to be tuning in on that day to go to our website. We do have a website on the ACC page, which is www.hccs.edu/Black History. And so again, that kind of keeps everybody in tune to what we're doing. You can donate there at any time. And most importantly to the students, we want to let the students know that when you find yourselves in some type of transitional moment or are looking for funds for school, that's what we're here for. So I really want to encourage the students to reach out to us, and we're here for you. And we're out raising dollars throughout the year to really help with this initiative. This will be my first year as chairman, one of the chairmen for the Black History Committee. So I'm interested in, very excited about bringing some new ideas to the committee that we can really embrace the college, and most importantly, create some different platforms for fundraising opportunities. My specialty is fundraising. So again, I want to bring some tools, the things that I've done here in the city from fundraising efforts to really educate others on how they can really be a part of this initiative. There's so many corporations in the city who are not aware that we even exist as a Black History Committee. And so I really want to get out there, boots on the ground on committee, into the city of Houston, boots on the ground, to really just embrace the community and let them know as a community partners what we're doing, what we're about, and how they can donate and how they can brand themselves, and sow a seed to be a part of this platform. So definitely want to thank you for just creating an opportunity for us to come on today. I'm sure one of our future students you're going to hear from shortly will definitely bring some highlights of some testimonies, some success stories that she's had as well by being a candidate of our scholarship initiative.
Perfect, Mr. Cooper. Thanks so much for being here. And you're right, we are here to talk about scholarship, and we want to talk to someone that actually received and that actually changed her life. So how are you today, Rolanda Myles?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So first of all, did the scholarship really help you, or they're just trying to show off here?
Well, first of all, I want to thank the Black History Committee for even giving me the opportunity to be a recipient. So definitely, yes, it came in during a time when I was in between deciding whether to go back to school, to continue to operate a micro enterprise, and then COVID hit. And then I decided to get a formal education in business. I've been sort of operating a business, but it's nothing like having a formal education and learning all the aspects of business that makes one successful. So I went onto the site, and very simple process. I was surprised to be chosen, and I sort of just gave a little background information about myself and filled out the information, and I was surprised to learn that I was one of the people that was chosen.
And tell me, how was the feeling once you find out that you received that?
Well, I mean, during that time, I was ecstatic because I was exactly short the amount of the scholarship. So it came in handy, and just the thought that not only can I pursue my dream, but there was a committee of people that believed in me as well. That was very inspiring and motivating, more so than anything. It was very motivating to me.
That's awesome. And when we were talking earlier, you did mention that this scholarship actually motivates you, not just to be in school, but to keep studying and even maybe help other people in the future.
Yes, definitely. And I mean, because I'm not the traditional student, as you can see, but Just the fact that if I could be awarded a scholarship, that pretty much anybody can, really. So it was inspiring for me.
And how do you think that the scholarships can change other people's life? You mentioned you, but do you think that this can motivate other people to go to school, even because a lot of people, they are comfortable and they don't feel like spending the money to go to school? So you think that can actually even change the mentality behind what school, and in your case, for example, the business, right? You want to do business.
Yes, definitely. I think that it is an awesome incentive to anyone who's thinking about going back to school, or whether or not they can actually go to college. I think it was an incredible incentive for me. I can speak for myself that it was. I mean, recently divorced and kind of doing everything on my own. I think that this was like very inspiring for me. I feel blessed with the opportunity to receive such an honor.
There you go. Well, thank you very much for being here, and I would like to tell you guys that if you're struggling, if you need help, please apply for the scholarship, because that can make a big difference, for you being in school or not. And remember, the earlier you start, the earlier you're gonna finish. So sooner you're gonna start working, have your own business, as the case of Rolanda here. And if you have money, you then can help other people by donating. So if you need, you ask. If you have, you give. So it's deal, it's a deal. All right. So what's going on now, Benjamin?
So now let's move on to our next segment, the entertainment part. So today I want to talk about the movie Hidden Figures. This movie tells the story of Katherine Johnson, Mary Jackson, and Dorothy Vaughan, who worked for NASA. They were a trio of mathematician women who served as the masterminds behind one of the greatest operations in history, the launch of astronaut John Glenn into orbit, an awesome accomplishment that restored the nation's confidence and turned around the space race. So it's a fantastic movie, and it was up for like nominations in the Oscars. And I mean, just all the actresses in the movie were just great, and it tells a nice story about how these women, they really were like it's an empowerment for people of color and also women. So I think it's a great movie. So definitely check out Hidden Figures.
So I would like to share Dolomite Is My Name. It's a great movie that I recently watched. And the reason why I picked this movie is because it tells a story of Dolomite. And he was actually African American in the 70s, that he was trying to produce a movie. But he's a comedian, singer, dancer. He does so many different things, and he decided that he wanted to do a movie. And the funny part is, this is a real story. So Dolomite is actually an original movie from the 75s, and they create this new movie which tells a story of how they made the movie. And so funny, because it was Eddie Murphy, so you can imagine how funny it is. That was one of the reasons for me to watch. And one of the things that grabbed my attention in this was the fact that it shows like how African Americans were struggling so much to be someone at the time, because the white supremacy people, they didn't want to allow this type of movies in the theater, for example. They were like, no one's going to want to watch this. But Dolomite, he believed that people of color had a right to see movies too, especially future people of color. So pretty much all the cast was made up people that were African American. So I thought it was an incredible movie, extremely funny, and it shows how things have changed along the years. And again, we still have a lot to change. But that's my share for today, and please check the movie because it's extremely funny.
So in 2018, a predominantly African-American science fiction movie called Black Panther was a box office hit. And it was a big deal for me particularly because it was the first time that a director who is Black, Mr. Ryan Coogler, made a science fiction film that over a dozen people, not just Blacks, but whites, Hispanics, and Asians, all saw and loved. Until that point, Hollywood and film studios didn't really take Black directors as very serious science fiction or supernatural movie directors. So this was a huge leap. So now, because of Black Panther, now more studios will want to hire more Black directors to make big science fiction or supernatural visual effects, big budget movies. So Black Panther being about two nations and one king trying to move up in the ranks was a newfound filmmaking choice. And I think it was a good choice, and it's all African Americans, and it's not about race, it's about finding your way in life. It's a good story. Again, Black Panther, directed by Ryan Coogler, came out in 2018.
The movie I would like to recommend is Hair Love. It was a 2019 animated short by former NFL player Matthew Cherry. It depicts a struggling father who then succeeds in doing his daughter's hair for the first time. The film won the Oscar for the best animated short in 2019, and it was praised for bringing in diversity to animation, which is something that we don't see very often. Cherry wanted to draw attention to the Crown Act, which is creating a respectful and open world for natural hair, and it prohibits discrimination based on the hairstyle and texture. And we've seen that in modern days when a private school in Florida a couple years ago turned away like a 6-year-old boy on his first day of class just because he had dreadlocks. So I think it's an important way for children to see themselves in animation, like no matter what their color is.
I myself would like to recommend the movie One Night in Miami. It's a film by Regina King, who is also an incredible actress. It turns out she's a very good director too. The movie it's about a night, the night that Cassius Clay at the time, then Muhammad Ali, becomes a boxing world champion. And it's afterwards him, Jim Brown, Sam Cooke, and Malcolm X. They all go to Malcolm X's hotel room, and they have what is supposed to be like an after party, but ends up being like an extremely important conversation that really highlights where these great men ended up like following, where they ended up going after the conversation, all the things that happened. And really, an important thing to note is that it wasn't like it's an imagining of how the conversation might have gone, like judging by how like the opinions that they all had going in, the relationships that they had. But it's a really interesting movie. If you're expecting like a lot of action, it's probably not the movie for you. But if you're very interested in like the intricacies of the movement and the intricacies of what people's opinion of the time, I highly recommend it.
Today I want to recommend a movie from 1992 called Malcolm X. It's a film about the life of the African American activist Malcolm X, who was an American speaker, minister, and activist. Malcolm X was a defender for the rights of the African Americans. The movie had 2 Oscar nominations, starring by Denzel Washington and directed by Spike Lee, who is well known for using his movies to send important message about the fight for the rights of African Americans. I really like this movie for the plot. It's very, very interesting to know about Malcolm X, the different things, the different aspects about his life, the bad things, the good things, and how he learned about his mistakes. Malcolm X was killed while he was giving a speech, and this movie is very, 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 very important for the African American history, and I really want to recommend this movie.
Thank you very much, Andres. Well, I hope you guys at home are already preparing the popcorn because there's so many good movies here and you should definitely check them out. So guys, it's the time of the day to say goodbye. I would like to thank you guys for watching us. Stick to the end because we have the funny video or the meme of the week. Thank you very much and I'll see you next week.
Yeah, like you said, unfortunately, it's a time to go. But don't forget, leave us comments. Also, like leave us topics that we can talk about in future shows because we definitely want to, do shows that you would be interested in. So thank you for tuning in with us at the Student Lounge. See you next time.